I'm a research director, largely focusing on enterprise services and also carrier-to-carrier wholesale. I'm actually based locally in Spain, in the region of Alicante, so it's a short train ride over here for me. And I've been with GlobalData, which was current analysis previously, since 2001. So then, the next couple of slides here, I'm going to talk for about 7 minutes or so, really do focus in on the enterprise, and I will draw themes towards the automation and zero-touch configurations and what that means for enterprises in the wide area networking segment, and also the opportunity that we see for managed service providers. In general terms, this is the trend that these are the trends that we're seeing in the industry as networks become increasingly agile, infrastructure becomes also increasingly flexible, and the way enterprises consume services or applications and so on is as a service. So everything's on demand, very easy and convenient to scale up or down, and is simple to manage in terms of budgeting. So today's IT manager and sometimes lines of business will focus in on all of these areas and look for innovation and solutions to gain benefits from self-service portals, a cloud service catalog, API automation and orchestration, automated provisioning. DevOps has become an increasingly important part of any enterprise IT solution. Workload portability, compliance and governance remains very important, specifically as well with relation to security, identity access management, service assurance, and network-aware infrastructure. So all of these things coupled together are what we call agile infrastructure, and all the concepts in this conference relate closely to, touch upon all of those areas. Zooming in specifically into software-defined wide area networking, so the landscape has become quite diverse and very quickly, sort of over the last 2 years, some companies have emerged that are new players. On the left-hand side, you can see all the service providers that already have software-defined wide area network propositions available for customers. In the center there, you can see some market disruptors. The Engena is actually an alliance that has been created by T-Systems, Deutsche Telekom, in partnership with Cisco. So it's a Cisco Viptela solution. Ariaka is also a relatively new market disruptor in the software-defined wide area networking segment. And on the right-hand side, you've got all the tech vendors. And I think we're seeing quite a lot of attrition in the segment. Some of these brands have already been acquired in the case of Viptela. Same for VeloCloud, was acquired by VMware. And also on the service provider side, so Interroute has been snapped up by GTT. So there's quite a lot of logos here, but some of the number of players is likely to reduce in the near term. This slide is a result, or this graphic on the right-hand side, that big scary spider chart is the result of some research that we have been doing, modeling future RFPs. So when large enterprises approach global service providers with a request for a quote, these areas are important, but what we're seeing is less emphasis on architecture and backbone. So physical networking components is becoming less, and what is increasingly important is the service wrap, change request management, the portal and reporting tools. End users and enterprises want their network to be very, very flexible, and it's sort of cloud first and putting the apps first attitude as opposed to network nuts and bolts. Clearly, all the other areas are still important. The SLA and of course the underlying architecture and backbone are still important factors, but we're seeing a sort of move in terms of emphasis on what customers want to need to those areas. And again, all this sort of bottom left segment of this chart is being pushed forward by automation and zero-touch capabilities, and more automation inside the network to actually make those change request management, for example, more convenient and flexible than it ever has been in the past. And then just some of the other bullets here talk about other trends that we're seeing. Network virtualization is catching up with the rest of IT. It's kind of the last bastion, perhaps. Applications and other areas of the IT estate have been virtualized already for a while. We're seeing different lines of businesses being interested in the purchasing or what the benefits might be of a very flexible WAN or software-defined WAN. So it might be the HR department that is pushing for a specific type of WAN capability, or marketing as opposed to the traditional IT people. This slide is also the result of a survey when we went out and spoke to multinationals around the question of whether they have a managed service provider to help them operate the network. And you can see the response is overwhelmingly yes. Enterprises do like to use managed service providers. And this, we think, gives an opportunity for managed service providers to land and expand within those accounts through value-added or innovative WAN solutions. And it's important to emphasize in messages to those prospects how an integrated portfolio that spans a whole variety of services like security, apps, cloud hosting, and so on, and faster turn-up capabilities are very important. And again, that faster turn-up capability entirely relates to the theme of this entire conference, zero touch and automation. We also asked the question to the pool of companies whether they deploy high availability WANs to their hub sites or to the data centers and branch locations. And you can see here the interesting statistic is this branch office one, where the majority response is no. So we see that branch locations as being the opportunity for software-defined WAN overlays. So despite the claims of redundancy being very important, we saw that branch offices get less importance attached to their WAN solutions.